So, welcome back guys to a brand new video. Now today, we're going to be talking about the update which went live in the early hours of the morning for Ark Survival Evolved on the Xbox One, PS4 and the PC. This is pretty big for official server players and is still big for a lot of other players because it improves server performance. I'm going to be talking all about it in today's video. This is going to be the last update of September obviously until we move into the big month of October where there is so much content coming like TLC Phase 3, Fear Evolved 4, which is obviously the Halloween event, and a balance and quality of life update. So it's going to be a month full of content. If you guys do get all the news you need to know in today's video, as always, smash that like button right now. If everyone hits that like button, we could try and reach the big 1,000 like target. That would mean so much to me, guys. I love when we hit over 1,000 likes. So everyone do that if you would like to support me, and make sure to be subscribed if you're not subscribed already. But anyway, let's get in with this video. So, the PC patch notes, as you guys will see, is pretty much the same as the console, although they've had like loads and loads of these different changes throughout the days. So, obviously, 29th, further optimizations made to the structure code, which is very interesting, and I'm going to be explaining everything to do with this structure code, what they mention here, because Dolly basically goes in depth about it on Twitter. Fix the bug which would cause spectator mode to stop working. Further optimizations made to the structure code again. Fix the crash related to the optimization code. Fixed OSD and veins not being destroyed when leaving render distance. And fix the gas veins continuing to explode gas balls even when they have a collector attached. Now, as you can see, for the days before, they were doing pretty much the same sort of updates and just further optimizations were being constantly done throughout every single patch. Now, when we come over to the Xbox, it's pretty much the same. They kind of just had the structure code optimizations begin on the 26th, then had more on the 27th, and then obviously had all the changes that the PC had to bring them up to date on console with further optimizations made. Fix the crash related again to the optimization code. And pretty much the same stuff to do with the gas veins and the fix the bug, which will cause spectator mode to stop working. Now, this is exactly the same on the PS4, so nothing different for you guys as well. Obviously, usually console comes as a whole when the update does get released. But you guys are probably thinking, what is this? And Dolly does go in depth into it. She said, you'd like me to nerd out over the structure stasis. I can never pronounce it, but I just thought I'd just miss it out in any code changes we've been rolling out. Okay, let's do this. Now, one thing I want to say in this video is this person says, hey Dolly, I found a hole that leads to a mesh on the island and you're able to mesh a cave. Can I send a DM to show you? And this person said, yes, please send the video to me. Connor, don't be naughty. We want to try and stop meshing, not keep it going. And I know there's going to be people watching this thinking, Dom, we love meshing, but it's got to stop, guys. It's got to stop, and it is getting to that point. I know it's still going on and all that sort of stuff, but if things like survival of the fittest is going to be happening, like, and you know, which is like the battle royale mode, don't ruin it by doing meshing. It's just boring. Like, it's so boring. But anyway, moving on. So, the way this structure optimization thing works is this reworks how structures are loaded / unloaded on the server. The simple idea is that less calculations take place at a given time with the new system, so the server doesn't have to do as much. Something to note is that the performance gains are more noticeable the more active structures are present. So think that really active large bases and the more players on a server is obviously what slows down a server. The structures are now broken up into a grid. When a player logs in, they're assigned a grid cells appropriate to their location, and the structures in those cells are loaded. That way they are not all loaded. Basically, what they're seeing is busy servers or lots of players and big bases will be seeing most of the significant performance gains within this new update. Now, this is huge because it's not just for PC, this is for console as well. And you guys know, if you've played Ark at all on PvP or PvE, when people have huge bases, from the beginning of the time when Ark was first released, you walk over to a giant base and you're lagging all over the place, and it has been improved improved. And I wish I recorded over the years the changes, because these performance games, people don't even notice that much. And they say, oh wow, I have noticed it a bit, but you don't realize how big they actually are. Like, you're less laggy, and these are the things that is perfect for Ark Survival Evolved. So this update is now live for you guys right now, and go check it out. Especially, I'm sure you've already checked it out if you are on the obviously if you play official. I'm sure you wouldn't even have noticed that much. You probably thought, oh wow, it's a little bit quicker today, but that's the reason why. Now, obviously, as you guys know, some of you may have missed out on my video, Community Crunch 239. Just to let you guys know, you may have seen this already, and if you have, no worries whatsoever, but there is the TLC update, as mentioned, coming in October, and we now know that the Mammoth and the Stego are the two dinos getting the update. In my opinion, it had to be the Megalodon and the Carno, and if it couldn't be the Megalodon, I would have wanted, the Giga, but I mean, the Mammoth definitely needed one, so, and so did the Stego, but I would have put that more towards the bottom of the list. A Mammoth and a Carno would have been fantastic, but still no love for the Carno. Now, if you want to know the new abilities that are coming to the Woolly Mammoth in the new update, it's got a War Drum, a saddle, and buff, so there can be two people on a Woolly Mammoth now. The one who is riding the Mammoth and the other one on the War Drum saddle. This basically will, when the War Drum is played, it maintains a buff that improves stamina regen and makes him immune to fear. So that's pretty OP. New attacks, Tusk Sweep. So the Tusk sweep left or right to gather and harvest thatch. The trumpet, so you can now actually emit a trunk roar that does a debuff to all enemies in range. There's a foot stop, so Mammoth rears up and then puts all of its weight and does a forward slam to knock back enemies and gather wood. And finally, the trunk grab, similar to the crab, is able to grab and hold and release smaller targets using its Mammoth trunk. The Stegosaurus has not got as many changes, obviously, gameplay-wise. Obviously, it does, because it didn't really have a use in my eyes. Well, it does, but not a massive use compared to some of the other dinos. It's more the visual side of things that, for the Stego, just makes it look more new. So it has these new backplate modes. So there's different backplate modes, and you can switch between 3 modes of how to use the Stego. So you've got hardened plated, which applies a damage reduction buff and prevents riders from being dismounted by enemies, and a wood harvesting benefit. The heavy plate mode applies a slow when attacking with the basic tail whip, and a thatch harvesting benefit. And the sharpened plate mode is the other one, it's the third one. It applies an armor penetration effect when attacking with the tail whip, and also useful for harvesting berries. So you've got 3 different modes here that you can choose between what's your favorite, or you can choose between what type of situation you are in the game, which is pretty awesome. And it has a new attack, which is the impaling tail whip, which is able to impale and immobilize players and smaller creatures. So that is pretty much all the stuff you need to know. Obviously, the Evolution event, we won't find out whether there's going to be another one this weekend until Friday, when the new Community Crunch comes out. But in my eyes, guys, there probably won't be. There might be one more before the next event. So obviously for Fear Evolved 4, you'll be getting a very nice long event, which will be on constantly for about 2 weeks. This is the fan art. As always, we went through this in the other video, and that is pretty much everything you guys need to know about Ark Survival Evolved right now. So I hope you did get all the information, and I hope you guys did enjoy. As I said, if we could try and push that 1,000 like target, that would mean so much to me. Make sure to be subscribed if you're not subscribed already, and I'll see you guys later.